This evening, first up, two stab wounds, a confession, and a body pulled from a canal. We brought you Shavannie Hanoman's story on Friday. Today, a devastating twist. A man accused of killing her was found dead in his cell at the Leonora Police Station lockups. Also, half of Guyana's secondary school students are drinking alcohol, nearly a third are vaping, and 5% are already using cannabis. And the health minister is calling it exactly what it is. A crisis sitting at the dinner table of thousands of Guyanese families. Then, $85,000 per child, 206,000 families, and distribution already underway. The Because We Care cash grants are being paid out across every region. If you have not collected yours, check your schedule today. Meanwhile, December is a target. The first 57 megawatt gas turbine at the Wales facility is on track to switch on before the end of the year. And the minister says the days of long, unpredictable blackouts are numbered. And a self-imposed deadline of June 30th. Thousands of migrants scrambling to leave South Africa and cities bracing for unrest. The government is urging calm, but the tension in the streets tells a very different story. Those stories and more coming up. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for June 29th, 2026. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, a case that had already shaken the West Coast Demerara community took a dramatic and tragic turn on Saturday when the man accused of stabbing his wife and dumping her body in a canal was found dead in his cell at the Leonora Police Station lockups. 44-year-old Hemat Kumar Mohammed of Degroot Incline Iflat was discovered hanging from a window grille inside the lockups using an item of clothing on Saturday, June 27th. He was rushed to the Leonora Cottage Hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The Guyana Police Force's Office of Professional Responsibility has since commenced an investigation into the circumstances of his death. Mohammed had been in custody since Thursday, June 25th, in connection with the alleged murder of his reputed wife, Shavannie Hanoman, a 46-year-old housewife from the same community. Hanoman had been reported missing on Wednesday, June 24th, after she failed to return home. Her body was discovered the following morning floating in a trench at the Degroot Incline area. Injuries were observed on her neck and other parts of her body. According to reports, the couple had been together for 26 years, but Hanoman had recently moved out of the family home following ongoing disputes. On the night of her disappearance, she had returned to cook for her family. However, an argument ensued, and witnesses last saw Mohammed following her as she left the house. Mohammed was subsequently arrested and, during questioning, allegedly admitted to stabbing her twice, once in the chest and once in the chin, before pushing her body into a canal. He reportedly led investigators to the bridge where the attack allegedly occurred and to his bedroom, where he said the knife had been retrieved. The Office of Professional Responsibility investigation into the circumstances of Mohammed's death in custody runs parallel and is also ongoing. On a different note, parents across Guyana began collecting their children's cash grant today as the government of Guyana's Because We Care cash program officially kicked off its 2026 distribution, putting $85,000 per child directly into the hands of families nationwide. This year's package represents a significant boost, comprising a $60,000 cash grant, a $5,000 uniform grant, and a $20,000 transportation grant for every child registered in both public and private schools across the country. Minister of Education Sonia Parak urged parents to familiarize themselves with the distribution schedule and show up to collect, reminding them that the grant is designed to ensure every child is properly prepared when school reopens in September.
I know that this is going to be of great benefit to you because you want your child or children to be in a position to attend school in September, and this is going to assist them with whatever they need to get back to school, to be properly prepared for school.
Distribution teams had been deployed across all regions to ensure that progress runs smoothly and efficiently for the approximately 206,000 families expected to benefit. The increased grants was a manifesto promise of the government cemented earlier this year when Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, presented the 2026 budget to the National Assembly. Minister Singh noted that the grant will inject an additional $2 billion in disposable income into parents' hands, a timely economic boost for households across the country. Parents are encouraged to check their regional distribution schedule and collect without delay. Now on to a related development. Nearly half of Ghana's secondary school students are consuming alcohol. Nearly a third are vaping, and about 5% are already using cannabis. And the country's health minister is calling it what it is: alarming. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, sounded an urgent warning at Ghana's observance of the International Day Against Illicit Trafficking and Drug Abuse last Friday, revealing the sobering finding from a recent screening of more than 6,000 secondary school students. The data painted a troubling picture of substance abuse among the nation's youth, and the minister made clear that the response must be swift, coordinated, and far-reaching. Dr. Anthony stressed that tackling youth substance misuse cannot fall on the shoulders of any single agency or institution. It requires a united, multi-sector response. While acknowledging the enforcement work of agencies such as the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, the minister said greater emphasis must be placed on prevention and early intervention, particularly among children and the most vulnerable young people. Dr. Anthony highlighted the critical link between early alcohol exposure and increased susceptibility to further substance use, calling for a stronger collaboration between the Ministries of Health and Education to build resilience among students and equip them to resist peer pressure. On the treatment side, Ghana is moving to bolster its rehabilitation capacity through a new partnership with Mount Sinai, which will see local health professionals receive specialized training in addiction medicine, a significant step towards building a more robust national response. The findings serve as a stark reminder that the drug crisis is no longer a distant threat for thousands of Guyanese families. It is already sitting at the dinner table. Stick around when we return. Drunk driver over the legal limit kills motorcyclist on Essequibo Coast, and first gas turbine to power up in December.
From every region, Guyana is coming together. One Guyana worship experience. Featuring award-winning gospel artist, Sinaj. Grammy award-winning worship leader, Naomi Rain. Also featuring Positive,
rolling in my two-man army, my Jesus and I.
Samuel Midas, Timothy Roberts,
the name of Jesus is higher than every name.
Renwick Dewsbury,
No more detours, I move according to purpose. No more detours, not this time.
Faith Korika Ned, Solid Youth, and many more. But passes must be secured through your local church and designated distribution locations across the country. July 6th, Guyana National Stadium. One nation, one voice, one Guyana worship experience. Sponsored by the Government of Guyana.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing July 1, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2026, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change, correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone whom you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. All GCOM registration offices will open Monday to Friday from 8 to 18 hours, Saturday, Sunday and holidays from 10 to 14 hours. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. After years of anticipation, Ghana's landmark gas to energy project is entering its final stretch, and the first of 4 powerful gas turbines is set to switch on before the year is out. Minister of Public Utilities and Aviation, Deodat Indar, confirmed on Sunday that the first 57-megawatt Siemens gas turbine at the Wales facility is on track to be commissioned in December 2026 under a revised agreement with the contractor. Speaking on the Starting Point podcast, the minister laid out a clear timeline for what comes next.
The new agreement, we are on track for December to have we have 4 turbines. Right. In this 4 turbines, Siemens turbine, each at 57 megawatts. So for the 4 turbines, it will be 228 megawatts. With the new agreement with the contractor, they say they will have at least forced power for smoke at December for one of the turbines, and 3 months after the other 3 will come on board to give you 228. And then a few months after, I think 2 or 3 months after, you'll get the 2 steam turbines to take you to 300 megawatts. So that will come on stream. That will produce power very cheaply for us because we are getting gas as its feedstock. It's no longer this heavy HFO that we pay a lot of money for, and we have to ship in. So you have that gas to energy producing power. So you have to evacuate the power now. So producing it is just one part. Right. So we had to build out over the past couple of years a number of industrial substations at Wales. We had to transport that power now, raising the level from 69,000 volts to 230,000 volts. So you can move bulk power throughout the coastline on the transmission line. So this will build, transmission line is being built straight up to Williamsburg up in Quarantine. And then in the Georgetown area. Then from Wales, it goes to Fridenhoop. And then we have some other transmission lines that we're going to build going up to Linden and Region 3 with a new highway and so on. But that is to move bulk power. And when you move the bulk power, you have drop-offs of this power. Because and more going up the East Bank corridor, the East Coast corridor, East Bank corridor, you have a lot of industrialization happening. You need more power, so you have to build more transmission to drop off the power. Because nobody takes in 230,000 volts. You have to come down to 69,000, then to 13,800, and then it goes into the houses and the businesses.
Consumers can also expect greater reliability once the Siemens turbines come online. Unlike the reciprocating engines currently operated by Ghana Power and Light Incorporated, the new turbine technology is capable of recovering far more rapidly from system disturbance, resulting in fewer and shorter outages. The minister did acknowledge that some temporary power interruptions will be unavoidable in the near terms as GPL upgrades substations and transitions customers to the new infrastructure, but stressed that these interruptions are a necessary part of modernizing the national electricity grid.
The inconvenience of an outage has to be done. Look, on the East Coast corridor, that expansion of that road requires all of the utility to be going to the ends of the alignment. You have to, it's live. You can't have people working with 6 and 9. You'll fry them. Right. So you have to take off the light at intervals to move sections of it. Same thing on the East Bank corridor going up. Once you see a road expansion, we're putting the lines to the extreme ends. You have to give out to because it's live operation.
For a country growing at one of the fastest rates in the world, December cannot come soon enough. Moving on. A Saturday afternoon drive cost a 45-year-old construction worker his life, and a breathalyzer test told the rest of the story. Satish Prasad, better known as Tony, of Reliance Housing Scheme Essequibo Coast, Region 2, was killed on Saturday, June 28th, after his motorcycle was struck by a speeding car along the public road at Reliance Essequibo. Prasad was flung approximately 50 feet from the point of impact, sustained severe head injuries, and was picked up unconscious by passers-by. He was rushed to the Lima Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The driver of motorcar PAM 8929 was immediately taken into custody. A breathalyzer test revealed he was above the legal limit. The vehicle was impounded and investigations are ongoing. Preliminary inquiries and CCTV footage indicate the car was traveling at a speed along the public road when Prasad emerged from an access road and attempted to cross. The collision was devastating and instantaneous. Prasad was pronounced dead by a doctor. His body is presently awaiting a post-mortem investigation. He leaves behind family, friends, and colleagues mourning a life cut short by a possible intoxicated driver. The driver remains in custody as police continue their investigation into the fatal accident. A reminder that drunk driving not only destroys the life of the person holding the wheel, but other road users. Don't go up to break. Europe heatwave. Germany sees hottest temperature on record, and Venezuela earthquake aftermath. Public frustration grows over government's response.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
From every region, Guyana is coming together. One Guyana worship experience. Featuring award-winning gospel artist, Sinach. Grammy award-winning worship leader, Naomi Rain. Also featuring Positive.
Rolling in my two-man army. My Jesus and I.
Samuel Mias. Timothy Roberts.
The name of Jesus is higher than every name.
Renwick Dewsbury.
No more detours. I move according to purpose. No more detours. Not this time.
Faith Korika Ned. Solid Youth, and many more. But passes must be secured through your local church and designated distribution locations across the country. July 6th, Guyana National Stadium. One nation, one voice, one Guyana worship experience. Sponsored by the Government of Guyana.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing July 1, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2026, and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone whom you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Friday, July 17, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I'm Dominic Gittins tonight. Attorneys fight to lift a deportation order blocking a YouTuber from his own sedition trial in Trinidad and Tobago. Frustration mounts in Venezuela as survivors fill gaps left by a slow government response. Migrants flee South Africa ahead of anti-immigration deadline, and Berlin shatters heat records for a second straight day. We will begin in Trinidad and Tobago. Attorneys for Canadian-based content creator Christopher Hughes have firmly requested that Trinidad and Tobago's Homeland Security Minister lift a deportation order preventing Hughes from attending his upcoming sedition trial. Hughes, known as Christmas List, faces charges after publishing content allegedly featuring criminal elements during a 2024 visit. His attorney have also called on Minister Roger Alexander to rescue himself, citing a potential conflict of interest. Frustration is growing in Venezuela following the devastating earthquakes, with many survivors criticizing the official response to the disaster. Al Jazeera's Nora Soto reports.
4 days after the earthquake, many families are still waiting for answers. While rescue crews continue searching through the rubble, volunteers have become a vital link between emergency teams and relatives desperate for information. Among them is Maria Virginia Castro. She has spent days helping 2 sisters in Spain who have been trying to find out what happened to their mother, believed to be trapped beneath the rubble of this collapsed building in Caracas.
More than anything, it's the pain of losing a very dear friend while her daughters are far away, just like many other families who had loved ones inside the building. I know this firsthand because I've been in touch with people abroad.
As rescue operations continue, official information remains limited. Government authorities have released little information about ongoing rescue efforts or the identification of survivors, leaving many families searching for answers on their own. In response, volunteers and civil society groups have launched online initiatives where relatives can report missing loved ones, share information, and update the names of those who have been found or reunited with their families. For many, these citizen-led networks have become the fastest way to search for information.
When the tragedy struck, we lost contact with our family in Merida State. Thank God we managed to get out in time, right in the middle of the earthquake.
For others, the waiting continues. As Venezuela enters the 4th day of this disaster, volunteers say they will continue answering messages, checking hospitals, and sharing information, hoping every update brings one more family closer to an answer.
4 days after the earthquake, the search is not only happening beneath collapsed buildings, it is also happening through phone calls, hospital records, and online networks created by volunteers trying to reconnect families separated by this disaster. Nori Soto, Al Jazeera, Caracas.
Thousands of migrants are scrambling to leave South Africa ahead of a June 30th deadline set by anti-immigration groups demanding that undocumented foreigners leave the country. Al Jazeera Haru Mutasa reports.
The priority for many people here is to get onto a bus that will get them out of South Africa before the end of the month on Tuesday. That's the deadline anti-immigrant groups have set for all undocumented migrants to leave.
We are scared. Some of the local people are violent. They are killing people. I've seen people being beaten. I can't stay here.
Anti-foreigner groups say undocumented immigrants are taking jobs from South Africans. They also blame them for high crime rates. But in 2023, a National Statistics Office survey showed there were 3.1 million official migrants in South Africa, about 4.1% of the population. That's down from 5.6% a decade ago, and low by international standards. For comparison, in Britain, about 17% of the population are migrants, in Canada, 22%, and in Australia, 30%, according to UN data from 2024. There is no official figure of how many undocumented foreigners are in South Africa. More people are coming. This is another family who try and get out of South Africa as soon as possible. They're carrying the few belongings they've managed to take. They're joining a line of other Malawians, all who say they want to be out of this country by June 30. Some official migrants are worried about violent attacks, but say they have nowhere else to go. These people are refugees and asylum seekers. Many of them have been sleeping outside the Home Affairs office in Durban for weeks. Which apartment and what floor? And describe the place to me.
I was actually here and right on top there on the third floor.
Leanne Sefu says she was suddenly told to leave her flat in April.
My landlord didn't want us anymore because we are foreigners, and he said he doesn't want any foreigners. Neither did he want to take my money, or neither did he wanted anything. He just had to pack anything of mine and had been thrown out.
As the June 30 gets closer, more buses of foreigners are preparing to leave South Africa, and officials say thousands of people from several African countries have already left. Harun Mutasa, Al Jazeera, Durban.
With Berlin recording its highest temperature on record for the second consecutive day. Al Jazeera's Rebecca Collard reports.
These water cannon are usually used to disperse protesters in Berlin, but this weekend police are using them to cool residents down, as the country reports its highest ever temperatures. For the third day in a row, Germany broke its all-time record, 41.7 degrees Celsius in Brandenburg, east of Berlin. Germany is not prepared for this heat wave. Some outdoor events have been cancelled, rail and transit services reduced, and in some places, heat melted asphalt around tram tracks and burst sections of the Autobahn. Authorities have asked residents to conserve water, but people are desperate to cool down. Few homes and buildings have air conditioning. Some that do are opening as cooling spaces. This art museum is offering some respite from the extreme heat, especially for the vulnerable.
I think for elderly it can become a real problem.
As this heat wave moves east, Germany's neighbors are also hitting records. Poland, Denmark, and the Czech Republic marked their highest ever temperatures. Dry conditions have increased fire risks, and here in Germany, emergency services are on alert.
These firefighters in this station in Berlin are preparing to deal with more than just fires. They're preparing to deal with the impact of this extreme heat on people. Yesterday alone, they responded to more than 2,000 incidents.
Crews are stationed around the city responding to anything from people overheating in their homes to drowning incidents in lakes around the city. Officials say they are doing their best to keep up with the increased demand for emergency services.
For the future, we need to prepare ourselves better, but for us, this kind of heat wave is really something special and something new, and something that we probably have to deal with more often in the future.
After days of extreme heat, Berlin is bracing for thunderstorms and the possibility of heavy rain. That will cool temperatures, but authorities say that sort of extreme weather could bring a host of other problems. Rebecca Collard, Al Jazeera, Berlin.
Thanks, Dominique. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3D weather forecast. And that's it to B2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast on the 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.